Please welcome Antonio Delfonso.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Connie, Margot. Thank you all for being here, for keeping Guernicac alive for another 10 years. I would never have been able to do it. I would have burnt out. No, I was burnt out. So I'm going to talk about Philippe Haeck. He is, oh shit, again, I pressed the wrong button. Hold on, I'll get, I started my translation career with this book published by Guernica in 19, my God, this is a long time ago, 1982, 81. No, it can't be, it's 85, 85. So that was his first book I did, Philippe Haeck, The Clarity of Voices, Selected Poems. Philippe Haeck is really, I mean, for people who don't care about translation, it's of no importance. But those who like to know what's happening abroad, anywhere, translation's a great vehicle. And Philippe Haeck was one of the, if not the first writer I read, and modern writer of Quebec in 1974. I bought this little chapbook called Nat in 1974, a little bookstore, and I fell in love with him because he's quite different from anything that in those days. Well, he's considered a major writer. He's an older man now, and he's considered quite important. And he writes very simply, and people just toss us off. And I was surprised because English poetry, it tends to be very linear, and somehow this doesn't bite. But give him a chance. So this book is part of a collection by the publisher on writers who write about writing, and that's something I wanted to do with Guernica back when I was a publisher of Guernica, and I did André Roy's book on writing, and I was going to do a lot of them. I needed an editor in those days. I couldn't find an editor who was interested on this topic. So this book is really about what writing is. So I'm going to read on page 33. And he writes in prose, but he's a poet. He writes in prose, full prose. And he always wrote in prose. That's what's unique about him. So that was a very big discovery back in the 70s for me. I mean, poetry writing in prose. I know that Baudelaire and Rimbaud did, but it was much later that we discovered through French writers prose writing, which was considered poetry. So this is number 36. How does one write? This is a question asked by the person who knows you write or has heard that you write. You answer with my foot. The person doesn't seem to understand. You look at your feet. You slip off your shoe. Pull off your sock. You point to your bare foot. Look, this is how I write. You find it difficult to write. I. You cannot trust I. You ask yourself, who is I? You find it hard to fit in this I that is too narrow and pretentious to conform to your identity. You consider yourself plural. You are many I's that crisscross, that move about. This is why you enjoy concealing your various I's in everything you write. If you use the you or the he along with the I, it is to give depth to your various lives, a certain kind of detachment that is more in tune with life's movement. You are a white butterfly, a boy of 5, a blue chair, a woman of 30, a blackbird, a venerable river, a Tuscan villa. Then you came up with H, a freer I, an I taking a break from I, a passerby enjoying to be passing through, to be loving. All of a sudden, H started popping up in your texts, surprising you, immediately taking a liking to him. He was not as serious as you. He was a bigger dreamer, speaking whatever came to his mind, as naive as a loved child. H provided you with a second existence. You relished walking in his shoes. You liked watching him laugh without making a sound. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio.